take a moment to settle, letting the weight of the day begin to ease off your shoulders. The world outside may still be carrying its noise, its movement, its unfinished conversations, but here in this quiet place you are allowed to simply drift. Let your breath loosen, let your jaw unclench, let the small muscles around your eyes soften, as if they're slowly remembering how to rest. You don't need to focus on these words. You don't need to hold on to them. Just let them move through you like a gentle current, like water flowing quietly around stones in a shallow stream. Tonight, we begin a long, slow, graceful journey through one of the most delicate mysteries inside the human mind: how memories form, not through sharp definitions or textbook explanations, but through atmosphere, through feeling, through the soft imagery of a mind doing its quiet work in the background of your life. Imagine yourself standing in a still, twilight space. The sky is dim, colored, with deep blues and soft violets fading gently into one another, like the brushstrokes of evening settling in. The air here is cool and slow-moving. It wraps around you like the soft exhale of the night itself. There is no sound except for the distant whisper of something shifting gently, not wind, not movement, but the kind of sound that feels like it comes from the mind, not the world. This is the quiet inner landscape where memory begins. In this place, you might see small lights floating in the distance, some bright, some faint, some pulsing gently as though breathing in their own rhythm. Each light is a memory, a moment captured not in photographs, not in clear outlines, but in a subtle glow that shifts and changes depending on where you stand. Some lights sit close to you, warm and familiar. These are the memories that rise naturally when you least expect them. A friend's laughter, a favorite song, the smell of something cooking that suddenly pulls you backward in time. Other lights rest farther away, their glow softer, their shapes less defined. These are older memories that require a little more wandering to reach. And some lights flicker quietly like fireflies at the edges of the landscape, moments you didn't even realize you carried, waiting for a quiet moment to drift back into view. This is how memory feels alive, soft, constantly shifting. When a new memory begins to form, it enters this landscape as the faintest spark, a ripple of light barely brighter than the shadows around it. Something touches your senses, a voice, a scent, a color, a feeling, and deep inside the brain, tiny signals begin to travel through pathways that have grown and changed since the moment you were born. You can imagine these pathways as slender threads of light stretching across the twilight earth beneath your feet. They branch outward in every direction, crossing over one another in delicate patterns that look almost like the roots of ancient trees intertwined beneath the soil. When an experience touches you, some of these threads brighten just a little. The glow moves along them like a soft pulse, spreading slowly from one point to another. At first, the glow is weak, easy to fade, easy to lose, like the faintest candle flame near an open window. But if the experience matters, if it stirs emotion, if it repeats, if your mind decides it is worth holding on to, then the glow grows stronger. The threads connect more firmly. The pattern becomes clearer, and slowly, without any conscious effort from you, a memory begins its life. You don't feel it forming. You don't notice the tiny shifts happening deep within the mind. It is all too small, too soft, too subtle. But in its own quiet way, the brain is sculpting something, a structure, a pattern, a tiny constellation of your lived experience. Breathe gently, let the thoughts settle. You don't have to understand the science to appreciate the beauty of it. It's enough to imagine the mind as a twilight landscape where sparks of meaning light up slowly, softly. Whenever life touches you, now, allow your attention to drift to the edges of this landscape. There, beyond the cluster of bright, familiar memories, the lights begin to thin out, the shapes become softer, the air feels deeper, as though holding older echoes of who you once were. These places hold distant memories not forgotten, but softened by time, moments from childhood, early senses, the beginnings of understanding. These memories are different. They are not sharp snapshots. They are impressions, glimpses, the feeling of a warm hand guiding yours, the sound of footsteps in a hallway, the glow of a room you haven't seen in decades. Though faint, these impressions linger because the mind holds onto emotions more than details. A feeling can last a lifetime, even when the images have faded into the soft haze of the past. As you wander through this inner world, you might notice how some lights seem to shimmer when your attention passes over them, as if acknowledging your presence, as if recognizing that you have returned to look at them again. This shimmering is something real. When you remember something, you strengthen it. The glow brightens, the path becomes clearer. Memory is not static. It changes when you recall it. It shifts and reshapes itself like soft clay being gently warmed by your hands. This is why memories can feel different each time you revisit them. Not wrong, not distorted, but alive, growing and breathing just as you do. Let this idea move through you like a slow tide. There is no need to hold on to it. It will settle naturally into whatever shape your mind finds comforting. You might feel yourself drifting slightly now, not fully in the landscape, not fully in the room around you, but somewhere in between. This drifting is a sign that your mind is entering its natural, quiet state, the place where memory is most open, most receptive. Even if your eyes close, even if your breath slows further, you can continue this journey simply by letting the imagery unfold in the background of your thoughts. As you move deeper into this twilight world, look toward the horizon. There, you might notice a stretch of light that looks like dawn, beginning on the far edge of night. That light represents the new memories forming the fresh experiences your mind is shaping even now. Every moment you are alive, the mind is collecting impressions, sifting through them, choosing which ones to keep and which to let drift away. This selection is not conscious. You don't need to decide. The brain knows how to choose what matters. Emotion, repetition, meaning these are the currents that guide memory. If something touches you emotionally, a moment of joy, a moment of fear, a moment of connection, the spark grows brighter. If something repeats a daily routine, a familiar voice, a pattern you encounter again and again, the pathways deepen. And if something carries meaning, even if that meaning is quiet, subtle, or hard to explain, the mind holds onto it with surprising tenderness. You might not realize it, but your mind has been doing this your entire life. Each year, each month, each day, it has been crafting the story of who you are out of thousands of small, glowing impressions. Let this awareness settle gently. It doesn't need analysis. It just needs space. Now, breathe again, slowly. Feel how your body responds to the softness of your attention. The rhythm of your breath and the rhythm of this journey begin to match one another. Slow, peaceful, unhurried. The next part of our journey will lead deeper into the soft interior of memory, into how the brain weaves emotion, sensation, and time into something that becomes part of your inner world. For now, rest in this twilight landscape a little longer. Feel the soft glow of the memories surrounding you. Feel the quiet comfort of knowing your mind is always working gently on your behalf. Let the light settle. Let the calm deepen. You are safe here, and we will continue this journey slowly, softly, together. As you remain in this quiet twilight of the mind, you may notice something subtle happening beneath the surface of your awareness. A sense of drifting, a sense of being gently carried, as though your thoughts have softened into slow, rolling waves. This is the natural rhythm of the mind when it begins to relax into deeper states. You are not falling asleep, not yet, but you are entering the calm doorway that leads there. In this softened state, the mind becomes clearer, not in a sharp, focused way, but in a calm, receptive way, the way a still lake reflects the sky perfectly once the wind has gone quiet. This clarity is important because memory forms best when the mind is calm, when stress settles, when the body relaxes, when breathing slows. The brain gently opens its pathways, allowing experiences to leave deeper impressions. It's almost paradoxical that the quieter you feel, the stronger your memories can become. Let's walk a little deeper into this soft, inner world and explore why. Imagine a faint path leading away from where you stand. It winds gently between glowing clusters of memory, curving softly through the dim blue of the landscape. The air feels still, almost thick with calm, as though the whole world is holding its breath. As you follow the path, you come to a small clearing, a space where the ground shimmers with faint ripples of light, spreading outward in slow, gentle waves. This is where memories begin to shift from the fragile glow of the present moment into something steadier, something more lasting. The ripples represent consolidation, the mind's way of saying, "This moment matters. Let's make room for it." Sometimes the ripples are small, barely touching the ground around them. These are the quiet moments, the color of the evening sky, the hum of a passing conversation, the way your hands felt a few hours ago as you held something warm. These memories are gentle. They linger for a while, then fade naturally, making room for new impressions. But other ripples spread wider and deeper. These belong to moments that carry emotion, joy, sorrow, comfort, surprise. Emotion acts like a lantern, casting light onto certain experiences so the mind can see them more clearly. This is why you remember where you were when something meaningful happened, a celebration, a change, a moment that touched you. Emotion strengthens memory not because the event was dramatic, but because it stirred something inside you, a shift in feeling, a moment of understanding, a change of perspective. Even quiet emotions can do this. A moment of peace, a moment of connection, a moment when you felt understood. These, too, send wide ripples through the landscape of the mind. As you stand in this clearing, watch the ripples spreading. Each ripple is a signal moving through the brain, strengthening the threads that connect one thought to another. These threads, the pathways of neurons, glow faintly beneath the surface, as though woven from soft silver light. When a memory grows stronger, the threads connecting it become brighter, more stable, more certain. It is a quiet process, but a powerful one. Think of it like this: each experience is a voice whispering into the depths of the mind, saying, "Remember me, let me stay." Some voices are soft and fade quickly, others echo for years, and the mind listens in its own gentle way. Now continue along the path, letting your steps fall slowly on the shimmering ground. You may notice that the lights around you have grown more numerous. Clusters of memories float gently like lanterns, childhood moments, familiar faces, soft recollections that have followed you through your entire life. The landscape of memory is shaped by both presence and absence, what you recall and what you've forgotten. Forgetting is not a failure. It is a natural part of memory. The mind cannot hold on to everything, nor is it meant to. It keeps what matters and releases what does not, the way trees shed leaves to make room for new growth. In fact, forgetting is a form of clarity. It allows the mind to stay focused, balanced, and unburdened. If every moment stayed sharp, your inner world would become overwhelming. There would be no space for new experiences, no room for change, and so, the mind lets go with gentle intelligence. Old memories drift toward the edge of the landscape, where their light becomes softer, their outlines more abstract. They don't disappear completely, not at first. They simply settle into deeper layers of the mind, heading into a quiet place where they rest, waiting for the rare moments when something calls them back. You've likely felt this when a scent, a sound, or a familiar shape suddenly brings back a memory you hadn't thought about in years. It can feel like magic, but it's simply the mind responding to a spark that lights up a pathway leading back to a memory long resting in the quiet. This is not random. It is part of the mind's design, a way to keep your inner world fresh and manageable, while still preserving the deeper layers that make you who you are. As you walk through the landscape now, those deeper layers feel closer, as though the dim twilight is parting slightly, revealing more of the mind's quiet structure. You might notice a faint warmth in the air, a soft glow rising from the ground, as though something important rests beneath the surface. This warmth belongs to the memories you return to, often the ones you revisit in thought, in conversation, in emotion. Every time you recall a memory, you shine a small light on it. You strengthen its pathways. You bring its glow closer to the surface. Some memories become companions throughout your life, moments you treasure, moments that guide you, moments that shape your values, your choices, your sense of self. These memories are like constellations in the night sky of the mind, bright, familiar patterns you can always find your way back to even in the darkest hours. They are not just recollections, they are anchors. They help you understand who you were, who you are, and who you are becoming. Now breathe again, slow, deep, easy. Feel the quiet movement of your chest, the softness of the air as it enters and leaves. As the body relaxes, the mind becomes more open to understanding itself. Here in this landscape, you can sense something deeper, a rhythm beneath everything, a heartbeat, steady and calm, echoing through the quiet. This rhythm is the pulse of memory, a cycle of experiences entering, settling, changing, and becoming part of your inner world. Every moment of your life has added a thread to this pattern. Some threads glow brightly, some barely shimmer, but all of them are part of you. In the distance, you see a small rise, a gentle hill glowing with soft, golden light. This is the place where new memories meet old ones, where the events of today begin to weave themselves into the greater tapestry of your past. Climb the hill slowly, comfortably, letting each step deepen your sense of calm. When you reach the top, the landscape stretches out before you, vast, shimmering, beautiful in its quiet complexity. Here, you can see how every memory connects to countless others, forming patterns as intricate as the night sky. You may feel a sense of wonder, a gentle awe, at the realization that your mind is always working to understand, to remember, to find meaning. Even in moments of rest, the mind is forming memories of calmness, of safety, of simply being. Right now, you are forming a memory of peace. It doesn't need to be vivid, it doesn't need to be sharp, it just needs to exist as a soft, reassuring glow in the landscape of your mind. Let it settle, let it become part of you. This is the quiet beauty of memory, and we will continue this gentle journey deeper into its mysteries in the next part. For now, rest in the calm of this inner twilight and feel the light of your memories surrounding you gently. As you rest at the top of that gentle hill, overlooking the vast landscape of your memories, you may begin to sense something subtle shifting in the atmosphere, a quiet warmth rising from the ground, as though the earth itself is remembering you. This sensation is not imagined. It is the mind's natural way of acknowledging reflection. When you think about memory, when you visualize its landscape, your brain becomes more open, more fluid, more connected. This quiet openness is one of the most peaceful states a human mind can experience. It is calm, receptive, and deeply alive. Stay here for a moment, breathing gently, letting the twilight settle around you. Feel how the air cools your skin. Feel the way your thoughts drift like soft ribbons of mist. Feel the weight of your body loosening into the surface beneath you. There is no hurry. This journey is long, and your mind knows how to move through it without effort. As you look over the glowing expanse below, you begin to see something new, small threads of light stretching outward from the memories you visited earlier. They extend slowly, almost shyly, reaching toward other clusters of light in the distance. These threads represent associations, the quiet connections your brain forms between memories, linking them together in ways you might not always understand. An old childhood scent might connect to a recent moment of comfort. A familiar song might connect to a memory of someone you loved. A color, a sound, a small fragment of experience may carry you unexpectedly to a completely different time in your life. These connections are the threads that weave the tapestry of who you are. Your mind does not store memories like books on shelves. It stores them like constellations, patterns of light that gain meaning from the way they connect to one another. Let your gaze soften as you watch these threads forming. They appear slowly at first, one thin line after another, but soon the landscape begins to glow with a delicate web of shimmering pathways. Each pathway is a piece of your past, communicating with another, a bridge between moments, between feelings, between stages of your life. This is why a single memory can carry you so far so suddenly. Memory is not linear. It is sprawling, interconnected in gentle ways that the conscious mind rarely notices. As you continue to watch, you see one thread glowing brighter than the others. It stretches from a memory close to you, something recent, something still warm, and extends outward toward a distant part of the landscape where the glow is soft and nostalgic. This bright thread represents meaning. It shows how a new experience can alter the shape of an older memory, not by changing its truth, but by adding context, adding emotion, adding understanding. Your memories are not fixed, they transform with you. Each time you revisit them, you bring a new version of yourself with you. You see them from a different angle. You understand them in a different way. This is one of the most beautiful qualities of memory, its ability to grow and evolve as you do. Let this idea drift gently through your mind. Memories are not frozen snapshots. They are living impressions, responding to the shifting light of your life's experiences. Even memories that once felt painful can soften over time, their edges smoothed by understanding and distance. Even memories that bring joy can expand, becoming richer as new experiences deepen your appreciation for what they meant. In this twilight landscape, you can see these changes as ripples of light moving through the network of memories, gentle pulses that reshape the constellation of your past. As the ripples fade, you begin walking down the hill toward a place where the air feels warmer, denser, filled with a quiet sense of awareness. This part of the landscape represents working memory, the present moment, the things you think about actively, the thoughts that sit just beneath the surface of your awareness. You may picture it as a softly illuminated pool, surrounded by pale stones that reflect faint streams of light. Thoughts drift across this pool like delicate leaves entering, floating for a moment, then drifting away to make room for new ones. Working memory is small, fragile, beautiful in its simplicity. It holds only a few thoughts at a time, but those thoughts guide every action you take. When an experience touches you deeply, it enters this pool. If it remains long enough, if the ripples reach far enough, if the glow intensifies, it begins the journey into long-term memory. You can imagine the pool overflowing gently, sending thin streams of light down paths that lead into the deeper layers of the mind. These streams become new connections, new patterns, new beginnings. Take another slow breath. Feel how your body relaxes a little more deeply each time you exhale. Your mind is drifting into its natural rhythm. This quiet flow is where deep understanding begins. Now, leave the pool behind and follow a narrow path that leads into a darker, more mysterious part of the landscape. This area represents the memories you carry without knowing, skills, habits, automatic behaviors that have become part of the way you move through the world. Imagine this place as a forest of tall, dark trees, swaying gently in a quiet breeze. Between the trees, you see faint glimmers of light, small, rhythmic pulses that travel through the roots and branches. These pulses represent procedural memory, the quiet knowledge your body holds: how to walk, how to write, how to balance, how to speak, how to do countless things without thinking. These memories do not glow brightly. They do not demand your attention, but they form the foundation of your daily life. Walking through this forest feels grounding, steadying, like reconnecting with something ancient and deeply familiar. If you pause, here, you might feel a soft hum beneath your feet, the rhythm of repetition, the quiet strength of things learned through practice. This hum is one of the oldest forms of memory. It's the memory the mind builds through doing, through trying, through living. Even when the world felt overwhelming, your mind was learning how to carry you forward. Let that thought settle gently. You have learned more than you sometimes realize, and much of that learning rests quietly in the roots of this inner forest. Now, follow the path as it curves out of the trees and leads to a vast open field where the ground glows softly with golden light. This field represents semantic memory, your knowledge of the world, your understanding of concepts, your sense of meaning. Words, ideas, names, facts, they all drift across this field like warm, floating lanterns. Some lanterns glow brightly, knowledge you use often. Others glow faintly, ideas you haven't visited in some time. But even the faintest lantern still shines, still belongs to you. Walk through this field slowly. Feel the warmth of each lantern as you pass. This warmth is the comfort of knowing, the gentle power of understanding the world, bit by bit, moment by moment. Knowledge does not live in the mind as rigid structures. It floats, it adapts, it blends with experience to create insights that guide you. As you cross the field, you may notice a larger glow forming in the distance, a soft radiance spreading outward from a central point. This radiance is autobiographical memory, the story of your life, woven from countless threads of experience, emotion, understanding. It glows warmly because it carries meaning, the deep, quiet meaning that shapes who you believe you are. Approach this glow slowly. Its warmth grows with every step you take. Inside it, you see images, shapes, moments that defined you, the people you loved, the choices that changed your course, the challenges you overcame, the joys that gave you strength. This glow is not a single memory, it is the merging of thousands, a constellation formed from the brightest stars in your personal sky. Stand inside this glow and feel its warmth surround you. This is your identity, not a rigid set of facts, but a living, breathing story made of memories that still shine within you. Let the warmth fill you for a few slow breaths. Feel the calm settle into your chest. Feel the steadiness in your thoughts. Feel the gentleness of the mind as it holds you quietly. This is where part 1 draws to a soft, slow close in the warm center of your own remembered life. In the next part of our journey, we will step deeper into the patterns of memory, how emotions shape them, how sleep strengthens them, and how the mind decides what stays and what gently fades. But for now, rest in this quiet glow, feeling the warmth of your story settle around you like a soft blanket of light. You are safe, you are calm, and your memories, in all their shapes and shades, are softly alive within you. When you step away from the warm center of your own remembered life, the twilight of the mind settles gently over the landscape again. The air cools, the lights soften, the world becomes quieter, as though preparing you for the next part of this journey. Because now, we move into one of the deepest layers of memory, the place where emotion and experience become inseparable. Take a slow, easy breath. Let the air fill your chest. Let your exhale fall like a quiet sigh into the night. Feel your body loosening, softening, settling. Memory begins with sensation, but it is shaped by emotion. Emotion is what colors the experience. Emotion is what determines whether a moment fades or whether it becomes something you carry with you for years. You can imagine this emotional layer as a gentle haze that rests over the memory landscape, a soft mist that glows in different shades depending on the feeling attached to a moment. Some memories glow with warm hues, gold, amber, soft, rose. These are memories of safety, connection, comfort. Others glow with cooler tones, deep blue, violet, silver. These carry echoes of sadness, loss, quiet reflection, and some glow sharply crimson, electric white. Vivid orange memories formed in moments of fear, shock, or intensity. All emotions leave a fingerprint on memory. The stronger the emotion, the deeper the imprint. Walk slowly now through this hazy part of the landscape. You may feel a shift, a deeper quiet, a softer heaviness, an awareness that this region holds experiences that once stirred your inner world. There is no fear here, no threat, just the quiet truth that emotion is part of being human, and therefore part of remembering. As you move forward, you see a glowing structure ahead, a gentle, pulsating orb of light, floating a few feet above the ground. This orb is the emotional core of memory, the place where feelings bind themselves to experiences. You might picture it as a warm, beating heart made not of flesh, but of shimmering light. This heart has no words. It speaks in sensations, in impressions, in the subtle language of feeling. Come closer. As you stand before it, you sense the warmth radiating outward, not overwhelming, not sharp, but steady, like the slow glow of a lantern burning low. This warmth represents the amygdala, a small but powerful part of the brain that decides whether an experience deserves emotional attention. When something matters, even if you don't know why, the amygdala lights up, sending signals throughout the memory landscape. It is the emotional gatekeeper, the guardian of meaning. Let your attention rest on the steady glow of this emotional heart. You may notice the light pulsing slowly, as though matching your breath. In, out, in, out. This rhythmic pulse is the mind's natural way of processing emotion, not by rushing, not by forcing, but by letting the feeling settle like soft rain over the terrain of memory. Emotion tells the brain, this moment matters, hold on to it. That doesn't mean the moment must be dramatic. Some of the most enduring memories come from gentle emotions, a sense of belonging, the comfort of a familiar voice, a quiet moment when you felt understood. These feelings weave themselves into the fabric of memory with incredible subtlety. The emotional heart pulses again, and you see threads of light extending outward from it, connecting to memories across the landscape. These threads are not bright. They are soft, thin, almost translucent, like strands of moonlight. They connect moments that share a similar feeling. Memories of comfort draw close to one another, forming clusters that glow gently with warmth and familiarity. Memories of excitement gather in brighter clusters, buzzing with energy. Memories of sadness form soft, cool pools of light that feel quiet and reflective. Look at the threads closely. You may notice that they cross one another in ways that form intricate patterns, not simple lines, but branching shapes that look almost organic. This is because emotion does not connect memories in a straight line. It forms networks, webs of meaning that link your experiences into the narrative of your life. Emotion is not decoration. Emotion is architecture. It shapes where memories live in the vast landscape of your mind. It determines their brightness, their strength, their accessibility. Think of a moment that always stays with you, maybe a person you cared for, a moment you felt proud, a time you felt true peace. The memory is important, but the emotion is what keeps it close. Now continue walking toward a gentle valley that opens up beneath the glowing heart. As you enter the valley, you notice how the ground shimmers with shifting colors, some warm, some cool, some vibrant, some muted. This valley represents the emotional context in which memories are formed. Context is powerful. The same event can be remembered differently depending on how you felt when it happened. A conversation held on a calm day might become a warm memory. The same words spoken on a stressful day might feel sharp or overwhelming. The event does not change, but the emotional lens does. Walk slowly through this valley and watch how the colors shift as you move. This shifting represents the way your mind reinterprets memories over time. As you grow, as your perspective changes, as you learn more, the emotional tone of a memory can soften or deepen or transform entirely. This is one of the quiet gifts of being human, the ability to reinterpret the past with new understanding. If a memory once felt heavy, it can become lighter with distance. If a memory once felt uncertain, it can become clearer as you gain wisdom. And if a memory once felt ordinary, it can become meaningful in ways you did not foresee. Emotion breathes through memory, like the tide coming in, going out, reshaping the shoreline with each passing wave. Feel this movement as a gentle presence around you. Now follow the valley to where the ground becomes smooth and reflective, a quiet basin filled with faint mist and soft, floating lights. This basin represents emotional integration, the process of merging feelings with knowledge, with understanding, with perspective. When you revisit a memory, you are not only recalling facts, you are revisiting a feeling. That feeling flows back into the present moment, bringing with it the wisdom of experience. This is why certain memories help guide you, why they offer clarity when you need it most. The mind does not store emotions separately from the moments that caused them. They travel together, woven in the same thread. Stand at the edge of the basin and watch the floating lights moving slowly across the surface. Each light represents a moment when emotion taught you something about yourself, about others, about the world. These lessons might not be loud, they might not be obvious, but they shape your understanding in ways that stay with you for a lifetime. Let your breath fall deeper. Let your shoulders loosen further. Your mind is drifting now into its natural, slow rhythm as you take in this quiet truth. Emotion is the compass that helps memory find meaning. Without emotion, memories would be hollow shadows without color, stories without depth. But with emotion, even the smallest moments can become luminous. As you stand in the gentle quiet of this basin, you might feel something else awakening, a sense of gratitude for the emotions that have shaped your life. Not just the joyful ones, but the full spectrum, the challenges that strengthened you, the losses that deepened your compassion, the confusing moments that eventually brought clarity. Each emotion has helped carve the pathways that guide your memory. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was meaningless. Now, begin walking again, up a small slope that leads away from the basin and toward a wide plateau where the air is clear and the twilight feels expansive. From this vantage point, you can see how deeply intertwined memory and emotion truly are. They are not separate systems, they are partners dancing through your thoughts, shaping your understanding, guiding you toward the life you've lived. Emotion makes memory vivid. Memory makes emotion meaningful. Together, they create the rich inner world that belongs uniquely to you. As you continue walking, we will move next into the quiet role of sleep, how it strengthens memory, clears the mind, and helps shape the story you carry forward. But for now, stand on this plateau and feel the calm that rises within you. Emotion shapes memory, memory shapes you, and both are held in the gentle rhythm of your mind. Remain for a moment on that quiet plateau, feeling the calm spread through your body like slow-moving light. This place, where emotion and memory meet, is deeply grounding. It reminds you that your inner world has shape, texture, feeling. And now, you begin to notice something new in the distance, a faint, rhythmic pulsing spreading through the twilight air like a heartbeat felt through the ground. This pulse is slow, steady, almost hypnotic. It calls you gently toward the next part of the landscape, a place where memory is reshaped, strengthened, softened, and rebalanced. This is the realm of sleep. Take a slow breath as you begin walking toward the pulse. Let your exhale drift like a quiet sigh into the night. The path leading forward is smooth and softly lit, as if lined with tiny embers glowing beneath the soil. Their warmth is subtle, barely noticeable, but enough to guide your steps without effort. As you walk, the landscape begins to dim just slightly, not into darkness, but into a deeper kind of twilight, the kind that appears just before the mind begins to drift away from waking thoughts. You eventually come upon a vast, open field covered in soft waves of fog, glowing faintly with shifting blues and silvers. This field is where the mind enters the early stages of sleep, the threshold between consciousness and dreaming. Step into the fog. You may feel a sense of relaxation settle over you as the air cools slightly and the world around you grows softer at the edges. Thoughts that were sharp just moments ago begin to blur gently, like ink diffusing in water. This sensation is the mind releasing its grip on the waking world. Here, in this dim, open space, the first stage of memory making occurs, the sorting. All throughout the day, your mind collects impressions, voices, gestures, colors, sensations, worries, plans, ideas, distractions. When evening comes and your inner world begins to slow, the brain starts to sift through this collection. It separates what matters from what does not. It releases the noise and holds the signal. Watch the fog around you as faint lights drift through it, tiny specks of silver and gold moving like glowing dust motes caught in a gentle breeze. Each tiny speck represents a fragment of experience your mind is evaluating. Some fragments will fade into the fog, dissolving quietly. These are the moments your mind chooses to release. Others glow brighter as they drift, pulled toward the deeper layers of memory. These are the fragments your mind decides to keep. There is no effort in this, no tension, no decision you must make. The mind knows how to handle its own traffic. It knows what to protect, what to discard, and what to simply let rest. As you continue watching, you notice the fog growing thicker, denser, almost cloud-like. Its movement becomes more rhythmic, more dreamlike. This shift represents the transition into deeper sleep, the stage where memory begins to solidify. Now, the ground beneath your feet starts to glow with slow waves of light, moving outward in circular pulses. These pulses mirror the brain's slow oscillations during deep sleep, the gentle electrical rhythms that help stabilize memory. Imagine these waves passing beneath you, one after another, each one smoothing the rough edges of your thoughts. Deep sleep is the mind's workshop. It is here that short-term memories are replayed, reorganized, and woven into the structure of long-term memory. But the process doesn't feel like work. It feels like drifting, like floating, like being held by something larger than yourself. As you walk deeper into the field, the fog thins and reveals something remarkable: a circular pool of light resting at the center. This pool is calm, still, almost mirror-like, and above it, shifting shapes float gently, glowing patterns that pulse in unison with the waves beneath your feet. This shimmering space is a representation of the hippocampus, the part of the brain that temporarily holds memories before they are sent to their permanent homes. The hippocampus is like a storyteller sorting through the events of the day, deciding how to weave them into the larger narrative of your life. Approach the pool. As you stand at its edge, you see the glowing patterns more clearly. They move slowly, gracefully, forming shapes that resemble constellations reflecting themselves on the water below. Each glowing constellation represents a collection of moments the brain is preparing to store more permanently. Some patterns sparkle brightly, new skills you've begun learning, new information you encountered, new emotional experiences that touched you. Other patterns glow softly, small moments of meaning, fleeting thoughts that nevertheless left an impression. The pool below them acts like a gentle filter. Memories settle into it like soft petals falling into water. The hippocampus does not hold memories forever. It holds them just long enough to understand where they belong. When the time comes, it releases them into the deeper layers of long-term memory. Watch now as one glowing pattern begins to drift downward toward the surface of the pool. It touches the water softly, sending out subtle ripples that radiate across the surface. With each ripple, part of the memory is carried outward into the deeper landscape, integrated, organized, settled. This ripple effect represents consolidation, the strengthening of memory during deep sleep. This process is delicate, beautiful, and essential. Sleep does not erase the day. It clarifies it. It separates meaning from noise, insight from distraction, truth from the passing clutter of the waking mind. Let your breath fall deeper again as you take in this gentle truth. Sleep is the guardian of memory. Now, step away from the pool and follow a narrow path that leads toward a darker, more ethereal part of the landscape. Here, the twilight deepens into a velvety blue. The air becomes cool and crisp, like the quiet of early dawn. This is the realm of dreams. Dreams are not random. They are the brain's way of experimenting with memory, emotion, and meaning. Dreams take fragments of experience and rearrange them, sometimes gently, sometimes dramatically, to help the mind understand what it has lived. Enter this realm slowly. As you walk, you notice shapes forming in the air, soft, fluid images that appear and disappear like smoke caught in moonlight. These images are dream fragments, moments the mind is exploring as it searches for clarity. A distant face, a familiar place, a sound you heard days ago, a conversation that never happened but feels strangely important, a version of yourself slightly different than the one who walks the waking world. Dreams weave these fragments into narratives that don't need to make sense in order to be meaningful. They are the mind's creative laboratory, a space where emotions can be replayed, softened, or resolved. Watch the fragments drifting through this dreamlike air. Some glow with warm light, some shimmer with cooler tones, some flicker rapidly as though undecided. These fragments interact with one another in fluid, unpredictable ways, merging, separating, transforming. This fluidity is how the mind learns. Dreams allow you to revisit memories from new angles, to see familiar experiences through unfamiliar lenses. This is why dreams sometimes feel insightful, even if their logic is impossible. The mind is exploring, experimenting, testing emotional boundaries in the safety of sleep. As you move deeper into this realm, the images gradually fade and the landscape opens into a wide, star-filled space. The sky above you glows with countless small lights, not memories, but possibilities. This celestial expanse represents the integration that follows dreaming. Dreams soften emotional edges, dissolve tension, and prepare memories to settle into their final shape. Now the mind gathers everything it has processed and begins weaving it into the stable architecture of who you are. Look at the stars. Each one represents a memory the mind has chosen to keep. Some are bright with emotion and importance. Others are faint but still present, contributing to the subtle background of your inner world. The stars shift slowly, forming new constellations as your perspective changes. This shifting is the final step of memory formation. As the night deepens, the stars settle into familiar patterns. These patterns represent the understanding you carry with you into waking life, the clarity gained from sleep, the emotional balance restored, the insights gathered from dreams. Take a moment to stand beneath this starry sky. Feel the calm that rises within you as the pieces of your inner world fall gently into place. Sleep does not simply restore the body. It reorganizes the mind. It gives shape to memory, meaning to experience, calm to emotion. It is a quiet partnership between the waking self and the dreaming self, a collaboration that continues every night of your life. Let the stars shine above you as you take another slow breath. Feel the stillness, feel the peace, feel the gentle truth that your mind is always working to help you understand what life brings. The next part of our journey will move into one of the most fascinating questions of all: why certain memories fade, why others remain, and how forgetting is just as important as remembering. But for now, rest beneath these stars in the deep twilight of your inner world. Remain beneath that quiet constellation of memories for a moment. Feel the stillness around you, the cool, calm air, and the soft glow of stars settling gently through the sky of your inner landscape. The world here is peaceful, unhurried, as if time itself has softened. And now, as your mind rests in the afterglow of dreams and deep sleep, you begin to sense another shift. A quiet, delicate motion stirs at the edges of the landscape, a soft breeze moving through unseen paths. This breeze carries with it something unexpected, something rarely appreciated, yet profoundly important: forgetting. Forgetting is part of memory too. It is not a flaw, it is not a failure, it is a gift, the mind's way of protecting itself from becoming overwhelmed by the endless stream of experience. Begin walking toward the breeze, letting it guide you to a gentle hollow in the landscape where the light dims, not into darkness, but into a soft, comforting dusk. The air here feels lighter, more spacious, as though the mind has opened its hands and released something it no longer needs to hold. In front of you, you see delicate shapes flickering like faint embers, not bright enough to be memories, not dim enough to be gone entirely. These shapes are the impressions the mind has decided to let drift. Approach them gently. You may feel a sense of tenderness as you watch these faint remnants floated softly on the breeze. Some represent the small, unimportant details of your recent days: the patterns on a stranger's shirt, the sound of a passing car, the precise wording of a conversation that held no emotional weight. Others represent older fragments the mind has slowly softened over time: faces with no names, places with no context, moments once vivid now reduced to gentle impressions. Let yourself feel the calm acceptance in this place. The mind is not meant to carry everything. Just as a tree sheds leaves to make room for new growth, your mind releases the unnecessary to make space for meaning. As you watch, one of the faint embers drifts upward on the breeze, growing more translucent with each moment. This is the gentle process of forgetting. There is no pain in it, no tension, no sense of loss, just a quiet letting go, like a feather floating slowly out of an open hand. Forgetting is what keeps the mind balanced. It allows clarity, focus, and emotional space. Memories that matter remain strong. Memories that no longer serve you slip away with kindness. Let this thought settle like soft snow in your awareness. Now, walk deeper into the hollow where the breeze becomes warmer, carrying with it the soft sound of rustling like pages turning in a distant book. This rustling represents the mind reorganizing itself after letting go. As forgetting clears space, the remaining memories shift into new patterns, forming more coherent constellations that guide your inner world. This is why clarity often comes after rest, after emotional release, after time has softened the intensity of certain moments. The mind reshapes itself to support your growth. Look around you now at the shifting landscape. The faint embers of discarded impressions drift upward along currents of warm air. Some dissolve completely, their light scattering into shimmering particles that fade into the sky. Others drift outward to the very edge of the memory landscape, where they settle into quiet, restful stillness. These are not memories you have lost. They are memories you no longer need to carry actively. They rest in the background, softened by time, available only if something meaningful calls them back. Now follow a narrow path leading out of the hollow and into a serene grove lit by gently swaying lights. This grove represents selective memory, the mind's way of holding on to the core story of your life, while letting the peripheral details fade. Walk between the softly glowing trees. Their branches are adorned with small orbs of light, stable, clear, anchored memories that continue to shape your present identity. Look closely. Some of these orbs glow with warm, steady light. These are memories of love, of connection, of moments that gave you strength. Others glow with cooler tones, less intense, but deeply important. They hold lessons, perspectives, insights gained from experience. A few orbs pulse lightly, as though calling your attention. These represent memories currently being updated by new understanding. The mind does not store memories as fixed images. It adapts them whenever you recall them, integrating new emotions and new interpretations. As you walk deeper into the grove, you see a clearing bathed in gentle silver light. Here, the ground shimmers faintly, as though covered in frost that reflects the sky above. This clearing represents reflective memory, the memories you revisit intentionally when seeking insight. These memories are not always comfortable, not always easy, but they hold truth. Truth is not always bright, but it is always steady. In the center of the clearing is a softly glowing surface, resembling a calm pool, even though it is made of light, not water. This pool is where the mind reflects, examining certain memories from angles you weren't ready to see in the past. Kneel beside it if you wish. Peer into its soft glow. You may see faint images, not sharp, not defined, but familiar. A moment of kindness from someone you once knew. A difficult conversation you learned from. A younger version of yourself trying to navigate life's complexity with the tools they had at the time. The pool does not judge. It simply shows. Reflection is how the mind learns from what it has already lived. In this calm space, even challenging memories can feel gentler, more manageable, more deeply understood. Let your breath slow as you take in this sense of understanding. You may begin to notice that the grove itself has grown quieter, the soft lights glimmering like distant fireflies as the breeze settles. This quiet signals that your mind has integrated the emotional meaning of these memories. Integration is the final step in the cycle of remembering. Now, follow the path that leads out of the grove and into a long, wide corridor made of soft, shifting light. This corridor represents the balance between remembering and forgetting, the equilibrium that allows the mind to stay healthy, clear, and open. Along the walls of this corridor, you see memories glowing in ordered patterns, some close, some distant, all arranged according to meaning. These patterns are shaped by both memories kept and memories released. Your identity is not built by holding on to everything. It is built by holding on to what matters. Walk slowly through this corridor. With each step, you may feel a lightness inside, the sense of carrying only what your mind has chosen as essential. This is the wisdom of forgetting. It makes room for new connections, new relationships, new experiences, new understanding. When you reach the end of the corridor, the landscape opens again into a quiet, expansive field bathed in the warm glow of early dawn. This dawn symbolizes clarity, what remains after the mind has sorted, processed, softened, and released. Take a moment to stand in this gentle light. Feel its warmth touch your face. Feel its calm settle into your chest. Feel the sense of openness spreading through your thoughts. This clarity is the gift of forgetting. It allows you to wake each day with space for new meaning. The journey through memory is not about collecting. It is about learning what to hold and what to release. Now breathe deeply, letting the dawn settle around you. In the next chapter, we will explore how memory shapes identity, how your inner landscape creates the story of your life, and why that story is always evolving. But for now, rest in the light of this quiet dawn. You have carried enough. You have understood enough. And your mind, in its quiet wisdom, continues to guide you gently toward peace. The dawn over the memory landscape rises slowly, spreading gentle gold across the quiet world around you. It feels soft, almost fragile, as though the light itself is brushing across your skin with the weight of a feather. This dawn does not represent morning, it represents becoming, because as memory settles, as emotion organizes itself, as forgetting clears space, something new begins to form within you, a sense of self, not the roles you play, not the words others use to describe you, not the expectations you carry, but the quiet story written from the thousands of memories that have shaped your inner world. Identity is not a single idea. It is a living, breathing constellation made of moments, choices, experiences, and the meanings you've attached to them. Walk forward into this gentle dawn. Let the light warm your face. Let the ground beneath you feel steady and calm. As you move, you'll notice how the landscape changes subtly. Memories that were scattered across the twilight now gather closer, organizing themselves into soft pathways that weave through fields and hills like glowing threads. These threads represent narrative, the mind's natural desire to connect experiences into a coherent story. You may think you remember your life through facts or events, but truly, you remember your life through story. The mind builds that story not through perfect accuracy, but through meaning. Stand along one of these glowing pathways and watch how it curves forward like a river of light. This pathway represents the earliest pieces of your identity memories from childhood, when you first began to understand who you were in relation to the world. Follow it gently. As you walk, you see small, glowing impressions floating around you. The sound of your childhood laughter, the feeling of a hand holding yours, the memory of being comforted, the thrill of learning something new. These impressions are not vivid images. They are emotions woven into memory. Children do not remember their early lives in precise detail. They remember through feeling warmth, safety, fear, excitement, curiosity, and from these feelings, the earliest threads of identity begin to form. You may see a faint glow representing a moment when someone encouraged you, a moment when you felt capable, a moment when you felt seen. These moments brighten the pathway and guide you forward. You may also see cooler, quieter glows, moments you felt unsure, or small, or overwhelmed. These moments do not dim the pathway, they help shape its direction, turning it gently toward growth. Identity forms not only through strength, but through the understanding that emerges from challenge. Continue walking until the pathway widens into a soft meadow bathed in morning light. This meadow represents adolescence, a period when memory begins to sharpen and identity begins to stretch. Here, the landscape feels more vivid, brighter colors, stronger emotions, sharper contrasts. This is how adolescence lives in memory. It is the time when the mind is most sensitive to meaning, most open to shaping, most alive to emotion. Look around the meadow. You may see glowing clusters hovering close together, friendships that mattered deeply, moments of discovery, experiences that shaped your sense of belonging. You may notice brighter lights that shine with intensity, joys and challenges that felt enormous at the time because the mind was learning who it was, in contrast to the world around it. Adolescence is one of the strongest anchors of identity because memory during these years is encoded with heightened emotion. The mind remembers what it felt intensely. Walk slowly through the meadow and feel the traces of those feelings, even softened by time. They still glow somewhere inside you. This is not nostalgia. This is recognition. The person you once were still lives quietly within you, not as a fixed idea, but as a layer in the story of your becoming. Now continue walking as the meadow narrows into a path leading toward a broad, sunlit hill. This hill represents adulthood, the time when identity becomes more stable, more defined, more shaped by choices than by circumstance. Here, the glowing memories are arranged more deliberately, less scattered, more interconnected. This is because as the mind matures, it begins to organize experience into patterns that reinforce your sense of self. Look around. You may see memories that shaped your values, moments when you chose kindness, courage, patience. You may see memories that shaped your beliefs, ideas you questioned, ideas you embraced, ideas that help define what you stand for. You may see memories that shaped your relationships, the people you let close, the people who changed you, the people who taught you about love, trust, or boundaries. Each memory glows with meaning not because of what happened, but because of who you became because of it. Stand at the top of the hill and look out across the landscape. You will see the countless threads of memory stretching outward in all directions, each one connected to the story of your identity. The story is not written in order. It does not follow a clean sequence. It is a web, a tapestry, a constellation. It is the shape of your inner world. Now walk down the other side of the hill into a quiet grove where the sunlight turns golden and warm. This grove represents self-reflection, the time in your life when you began to look inward, asking questions with more depth than before. Who am I? What matters to me? What kind of person do I want to become? In this grove, memories glow differently, not as isolated points, but as clusters grouped by meaning. One cluster might represent courage, another resilience, another connection, another growth. These clusters are the themes that have shaped your story. They emerge naturally when the mind reflects on the path it has taken. Walk among these clusters gently. You may feel a quiet sense of understanding as you pass each one, a recognition of how each theme has influenced your choices, your relationships, your identity. Reflection is how memory organizes itself into wisdom. As you move deeper into the grove, you see a faint archway of light ahead, soft, shimmering, like morning sunlight seen through a curtain. Step through the archway. You now enter one of the most important spaces in the landscape, the place where memory becomes meaning. This space is luminous, calm, and spacious, as though the mind itself is breathing deeply here. Memories rise and fall like gentle waves rolling across a quiet sea. Here, you begin to understand that identity is not the accumulation of memories, but the interpretation of those memories. Meaning is not found in what happened, but in how you weave it into your life story. Walk along the soft shoreline of this inner sea. You may see certain memories floating closer to the surface, ones you still revisit, ones that guide you, ones that shape the choices you continue to make. These floating moments are the values you live by, the quiet compass points that your identity rests upon. Value is memory refined by meaning. As you continue, you see deeper lights beneath the surface, memories that no longer feel immediate but still influence you in subtle ways. These are the patterns that shaped your worldview, the early lessons, the quiet realizations, the moments you may have forgotten but that still echo through your choices. Deeper still, the water glows with the faintest hints of light, the memories that once shaped you but have now become part of your foundation. These are not active memories. They are simply the building blocks of who you once were, quietly supporting who you have become. Walk along the shoreline and let the calm settle. Identity is not a single story. It is a collection of stories constantly being shaped by memory. Your inner narrative is not fixed. It evolves when you learn, when you grow, when you heal, when you change. Identity is a lifelong process. and yet, at every stage, it is complete. Pause here in the quiet, feeling the soft motion of the waves and the warmth of meaning settling gently into your awareness. The next part of this journey will explore the most profound question of all. How does the story you carry shape the person you are becoming? But for now, breathe softly, let the calm deepen, and rest in the truth that your identity is a living story, written with tenderness by the memories you hold. Stay here a moment longer, standing beside the quiet sea of meaning, letting the glow of memory and identity settle gently over your awareness. The waves rise and fall in a peaceful rhythm, steady, calming, unhurried. This rhythm mirrors your own breath. In, out, in, out. The flow of memory and the flow of breath share the same gentle intention to support you as you move through your life, moment by moment, learning and becoming in ways you may not always see until much later. Now turn your attention to a soft, winding path that stretches away from the shoreline. It is lined with pale golden light, as if gently inviting you into the next layer of your own understanding. This path leads to the growing edge of identity, the part of you that is still forming, still learning, still unfolding. Begin walking. The ground feels steady beneath you, and the air grows warmer, carrying the faint scent of blooming petals and sunlight on open earth. This warmth represents possibility, the open, unshaped future that your identity is always moving toward. As you walk, you begin to see small, glowing shapes sprouting from the ground like tiny seedlings made of light. Each one represents a new experience that has not yet taken full form in your memory. Some glow with curiosity, some flicker with uncertainty, some pulse with excitement or hope, some shine softly with quiet anticipation. These small seedlings are the beginnings of new stories you are creating in your life. Identity never stops growing. It evolves as you encounter new ideas, new people, new challenges, new emotions. Walk among these seedlings and notice how each one seems to respond to your presence, glowing a little brighter as you pass. This glow represents awareness, the moment when an experience becomes meaningful. Not every experience will grow into a defining memory. Some will remain small, brief, gentle impressions, but others will grow roots that settle deep into the soil of your identity, shaping the person you become. Continue walking until the seedlings fade into a new, expansive clearing, a wide open space filled with tall, shimmering grasses that sway gently in the warm breeze. This clearing represents your future self, not as a fixed destination, but as a field of unfolding possibilities. The grasses whisper softly as they move, as though carrying conversations between who you are and who you are becoming. Listen to their whispers. They speak in soft tones about growth that has not yet happened, opportunities you have not yet seen, understandings you have not yet realized, love you have not yet encountered, strength you have not yet needed, wisdom you have not yet earned. Your future self is not someone distant or unfamiliar. They are simply you, with more time, more experience, more understanding. Your story continues in every direction, into parts of your life that have not yet taken shape. Walk deeper into the clearing. As you do, you may notice soft beams of light falling from above, subtle streams of gold that illuminate the grasses and warm your skin. These beams represent the core values that guide you forward, the principles your identity gravitates toward even when you are not conscious of them. Some beams are gentle and familiar kindness, patience, curiosity. Others are stronger, anchoring you in who you truly are, integrity, empathy, courage, resilience. Walk beneath these beams and feel their warmth settle over you. These values are the threads your memory uses to weave your life story. They hold your experiences together in a way that makes sense to you, bringing coherence to the complexity of your life. Now follow the clearing to where it narrows into a winding path that leads toward a distant structure glowing softly in the warm light. As you approach, the structure becomes clearer, a graceful archway made entirely of moving patterns, shifting gently like ripples on calm water. This archway represents self-awareness. Step through it slowly, As you cross the threshold, the landscape opens into a tranquil sanctuary, a wide, circular space with soft, luminous walls that seem to breathe gently. In the center of this sanctuary is a low pedestal made of shimmering crystal. Resting on the pedestal is a glowing sphere of light, steady, warm, alive. This sphere represents your inner narrative, the story you tell yourself about who you are. Every person carries a narrative like this. Some narratives are shaped by confidence, some by caution, some by old emotions that have not yet been released, some by dreams that have not yet taken form. Your inner narrative is not fixed. It changes as your understanding deepens. Approach the sphere. As you come closer, the surface begins to glow more brightly, as though responding to your attention. Place your hands gently on its surface. You may feel a warmth that radiates through your palms and spreads upward through your arms into your chest. This warmth represents insight, the way understanding flows from memory into identity. Watch as soft patterns begin to form within the sphere, swirling shapes that resemble constellations of tiny lights. Each cluster represents a belief you hold about yourself. Some clusters glow steadily, beliefs rooted in deep truth and lived experience. Others flicker as though uncertain beliefs still forming, still evolving, still being challenged by new understanding. A few clusters dim slightly, as though ready to soften and release beliefs that no longer serve you. Beliefs formed long ago in moments of fear or confusion that no longer reflect the person you are today. The sphere glows brighter as it reorganizes itself, demonstrating something profound. Identity is not a fixed state. It is an ongoing relationship with your memories, your choices, your emotions, your meaning. Your story is written in chapters, not sentences. It breathes, it shifts, it learns. Allow this truth to settle deeply into your awareness. Now take your hands off the sphere and step back gently. As you do, the sanctuary begins to glow with soft waves of light flowing outward from the center. These waves represent clarity, the understanding that comes from viewing yourself with compassion rather than judgment. You begin walking again, leaving the sanctuary and re-entering the broader landscape. Ahead of you, you see a series of gentle, rising steps made of warm, glowing stone. These steps symbolize growth, not dramatic leaps, but the small, steady progress of becoming the person you are meant to be. Climb the steps slowly. Each one feels grounding, stable, supportive beneath your feet. As you ascend, the light around you grows warmer and brighter, gathering into a soft radiance that fills your entire field of vision. At the top of the steps, you emerge onto a high plateau bathed in brilliant, golden light that feels both warm and calming, energizing and serene. This plateau represents self-acceptance, the moment when your inner narrative aligns with your truth. Here, the landscape opens in all directions, revealing the many threads of your life story stretching outward. Threads from childhood, glowing softly with innocence. Threads from adolescence, bright and vivid with emotion. Threads from adulthood, woven with choice and meaning. Threads from your inner values, steady and warm. Threads from your dreams, soft and shimmering. Together, these threads form a tapestry of light that stretches across the horizon. Stand in the center of this radiant plateau and take a deep, slow breath. Let the light fill you with calm. Let it fill you with clarity. Let it fill you with the quiet truth that your identity is a story written by every step you have taken to arrive here. You are not defined by a single memory, a single moment, a single emotion. You are defined by the full landscape of your experience. Your strengths and your vulnerabilities both shape your path. Your joys and your challenges both contribute to your depth. Your successes and your mistakes both guide your growth. Identity is not perfection, it is integration. Now turn your attention to a narrow passage leading off the plateau toward a soft glow in the distance. This passage represents the merging of past, present, and future, the part of identity where you understand that your story is still unfolding. Walk into the passage. The light ahead grows brighter as you approach, and you begin to feel a sense of anticipation, a softness mixed with strength, as though stepping into a new understanding of yourself. When you emerge from the passage, you find yourself in a vast, luminous hall filled with slowly drifting lights that move like stars caught in a gentle breeze. This hall is the inner narrative in motion, your story, as you continue to live it. Memories float like glowing shapes you can reach out and touch, each one contributing to the ongoing tapestry of who you are. As you walk among them, you may notice memories of kindness drifting close to your heart, memories of resilience floating near your shoulders, memories of love shining brightly in warm hues, memories of growth glowing steadily beneath your feet. All of them move with you, support you, and shape your path forward. Identity is not a destination, it is a journey, a story you write every day with your choices, your reflections, and the meaning you give to the moments you live. Take one more slow breath as the luminous hall glows softly around you. Next, we will enter the final part of this chapter, a space where your entire story comes together into understanding, peace, and gentle transformation. But for now, drift into this light, carried by the knowledge that you are a living story continuously unfolding with grace. Remain in the luminous hall for a moment, surrounded by the drifting lights of your own unfolding life story. Some lights move gently around you like warm fireflies tracing soft arcs through the air. Others hang still and serene, anchoring themselves like bright stars against an endless night. All of them belong to you. They form a quiet portrait of who you have been, who you are, and who you are becoming. Take a slow breath as the hall brightens with a gentle, warm glow. This light is a reminder that identity is not a single narrative, but a mosaic made of many pieces, all held together by understanding. Now, you notice something shifting at the far end of the hall. A soft beam of silver light descends from above, touching the ground with a shimmer that ripples outward. This silver glow is neither past nor future. It is the present moment, the point where all your memories converge into awareness. Walk toward the beam gently, allowing its brightness to draw you in like a soft magnet. As you come closer, the drifting lights slow down around you as if time itself is taking a peaceful breath. Step into the silver light. It envelops you with a gentle warmth that spreads through your chest, your shoulders, your arms, and finally settles softly at the center of your being. This feeling is presence, the state of simply existing here, now, without the weight of remembering or the pressure of becoming. Presence is quiet, but powerful. It gives the mind rest from the never-ending task of sorting, interpreting, and creating meaning. Here, in this soft silver glow, your story pauses, not in stillness, but in calm. Look around. The hall is still vast, still filled with drifting lights, but everything feels lighter, as though each memory has relaxed its hold just enough for you to breathe freely. This moment is a reminder that the self is not found only in the past or the future. It lives in the calm space between the two. Let your breath deepen as you stand in that calm. Now, lift your gaze toward the far side of the hall, where a gentle opening appears, an archway made of soft gold and pale silver light. This archway represents understanding, the place where your memories and your identity merge into wisdom. Step through it slowly. On the other side, the landscape shifts once more into a wide, open expanse bathed in warm twilight, neither day nor night, but a peaceful in-between. The air here is still, the horizon stretches far. The entire world feels spacious enough to hold anything you bring to it. Walk forward. As you do, you notice a gentle path winding through the twilight field, smooth, glowing faintly beneath your steps. This path is the story you are walking now, the part of your life being written in this very moment. Past behind you, future ahead, present beneath your feet. The path curves through the fields and leads you toward a quiet rise, a small, rounded hill lit by warm, shimmering light. Climb it slowly. At the top, you find something unexpected, a wide, circular platform made of soft, glowing stone with a single light floating above its center. This floating light is gently pulsing, steady, calm, like the slow beat of a peaceful heart. This light is your inner truth, the part of your identity that remains consistent no matter how much you grow, no matter how much you change. Every person has this inner truth, a steady core that guides them even when they don't realize it. Step forward and stand beneath the glowing light. Let its warmth soften your breath. Let it relax the muscles through your face and down your spine. Let it ease any tension you still carry. Feel the light settle into your awareness. This is who you are beneath memory, beneath emotion, beneath the story. Calm, capable, growing, evolving. Now something beautiful begins to happen. The drifting lights from the hall of memory start to appear around you, floating into view. Like countless tiny stars, they gather softly around the central light, forming a constellation made entirely from your own story. Every memory that made you stronger, every emotion that shaped your awareness, every dream that kept you moving forward, every challenge that softened or refined you, every moment of clarity, confusion, growth, connection, all of them are now arranged in a gentle arc around your inner truth. This is your personal constellation, a glowing map of who you have been and who you are becoming. Stand inside this constellation. Let it surround you with warmth. Feel the calm spread through your whole body as you recognize that your story is not random. It is meaningful, not because of perfection, but because of the depth that comes from living. Identity is not found in flawless moments. It is found in the threads that hold you together despite everything. Let that thought wrap around you like a soft blanket. Now, look up. The sky above glows with soft twilight, deep violet, gentle indigo, and warm traces of fading gold. This sky represents possibility, the infinite space your story can still grow into. Your life is not finished. Your story is still unfolding. Your identity is still evolving. You are allowed to become someone new, again and again, as many times as needed. Take a slow breath and let the air fill you with a quiet sense of permission. Now, turn your attention back to the glowing constellations surrounding you. One by one, the lights begin to lift, floating higher, rising into the twilight sky like gentle sparks. These lights are not leaving you. They are expanding into the broader sky of your understanding, becoming part of the larger story that guides your life. Watch them rise. Each one carries a memory now softened into wisdom. Each one carries a lesson you no longer need to hold tightly. Each one carries a truth that now lives quietly within you. The sky fills with these softly rising sparks until it resembles a vast, shimmering tapestry. This is the story you have lived. This is the story you are becoming. This is the story you will continue to write with each step you take forward. Now, the glowing platform beneath you begins to emit slow, warm pulses of light, like calm waves moving outward from your feet. These pulses represent grounding, the understanding that no matter where you've been or where you are going, you are always connected to a steady center within yourself. Take a final slow breath as those warm pulses spread through your body. Your story is not a burden, it is your foundation. Your memories are not weights. They are lanterns that illuminate the path behind you and gently light the path ahead. Your identity is not a puzzle. It is a journey, a continuous unfolding of meaning, growth, and quiet transformation. As the twilight deepens into a peaceful, star-filled night, you feel the entire landscape settle into stillness. The fields, the shoreline, the sanctuary, the hall of memory, the constellation, the sky. Everything grows quiet, soft, serene. This stillness is the final truth. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to grow at your own pace. You are allowed to change gently over time. You are allowed to become everything your story is guiding you toward. Your memories have shaped you. Your emotions have guided you. Your sleep has restored you. Your identity has evolved with you. And your future remains open, unwritten, full of soft, expansive possibility. Take one final breath in this peaceful place, and as you exhale, let yourself drift into the deep, quiet night of your inner world, held gently by the story you have lived and the story you have yet to write.